Not gonna lie, kind of forgot I was filming this today, and luckily my calendar gave me the notification, and now I'm kind of excited because I get to read all day. Hey there, creepy peeps. You can tell from the title of this video what I'm doing today, but I'm going to be not choosing like the illusion of choice. I'm gonna give myself the illusion of choice and read a random horror book off of my physical TBR. So I figured I would just use like a random number generator and kind of just count my TBR until I find that number. The problem is I don't really know what I want to include and not include. Like, do I include nonfiction? Do I include some of like my mystery thrillers? Do I just stick with horror? I don't know. Do I go YA? I think I'm going to have it generate 3 numbers for me, and I'm gonna pull 3 books from the shelves and then I'm gonna choose. Let's see. First number is high. First number is 132. Second number is 98. So 132, I am gonna immediately forget that. 132 and 98, sorry, just writing that down. And then 8. Okay, I think that is as varied as I could have gotten that on the first try. So I'm just gonna make sure, I think this stack is, I've read all that. Okay, so we're truly starting here with Mary. All right, so I guess we'll just go across and then up and down. So let's see, first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, ignoring the books that fell. First choice is 19 Claws and a Blackbird by Augustina Basterrica, writer of Tender is the Flesh. Okay, what's the next number I'm going to again? It's gonna be a lot more counting. 98. Okay, next one is 98. Okay, so this would be 9. Or 90, so 91, 92, 93, 94, dang, I wanted to read that one. 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. Yeah, these ones are dark enough, I think. Oh, 98. This one I'm gonna end up jumping around a lot, but let me see what this is first really quick, because I forgot. Oh, is that a horror book? It's got blood splatters, I'm gonna count it, okay. All right, so we were at 98, so 99, 100. All right, so this is 121, 22, no, okay, 22. Okay, 123, trying to decide is hard, which ones are 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, no, 128, 29, 30, I'm not gonna count graphic novels, 31, is that horror though? I don't know. Here's about, I'm not gonna count it. So 29, where's 130? 130. Yeah, Junji Ito. No, I'm not gonna count. I didn't count graphic novels. Okay, so that's, what did I just say? 130? 131. Oh shit, 132. I can't do this one. Okay, just for you guys at home, I'm not going to do this one because I know, because this was almost gonna be a creepy book club pick, and it is one of the publishers that's part of the S&P boycott. So I am not gonna choose that one, and it said no nonfiction. Okay, I did forget about my Edgar Allan Poe and Shirley Jackson shelf because there are some ones on there that I haven't read. So the next one would be, please tell me the authors, not the author, the publisher's fine. Yes, okay. It'll be this one. So, His Hideous Heart. So we have His Hideous Heart. We have 2 anthologies, technically, this is interesting. So this is Edgar Allan Poe reimagined. I think this is technically YA. Based on the price, it definitely is. But that could be fun. I think anthology honestly could be good for a reading vlog. Pretty Girls, which is supposed to be kind of intense, I think. Haven't read any Karen Slaughter, so this would be interesting. And then 19 Claws and a Blackbird, which is also an anthology by Augustina Bazterrica, the author of Tender is the Flesh, which is an amazing horror book if y'all haven't read that one. Between 1 and 3, 2. Pretty Girls it is. Haven't read any of her books yet, and I kept hearing this one was kind of like intense. We'll see. I kind of vaguely remember the plot. I think it's something about like a woman's like husband, like possibly is a serial killer or something. Let's just read the back together. It's been more than 20 years since Claire and Lydia last spoke. Claire is the glamorous trophy wife of an Atlanta millionaire. Lydia, a single mother dating an ex-con, struggles to make ends meet. But neither has recovered from the disappearance of their sister Julia 2 decades earlier. And the shocking murder of Claire's husband, Claire is the rich one, okay, brings the horror and heartbreak of the past roaring back into their lives. The vanishing of a teenage girl and the killing of a middle-aged man, almost a quarter-century apart. What could connect them? As they form a wary truce, the surviving sisters unearth the secrets that destroyed their family all those years ago and find the astonishing truth where they least expected it. Okay, maybe it's like when going through his stuff, it finds out he may have like murdered the sister or something. Or it's like he was definitely doing like creepy stuff with other girls, so it's like she thinks he maybe murdered her. I don't know. So let me put these other 2 books away that I am not reading, and then we're gonna get started on Pretty Girls, and I will check in with you as I read the book. Okay, so I am 100 pages in so far, have already marked a few things that I want to remember to talk about. I definitely didn't say it before. This is your warning now. This is going to be spoilers because like what else would be the point of a reading vlog if I wasn't talking about everything that I'm reading. I left off at chapter 6. Okay, so far a lot has happened. There's a lot of moving pieces. We have Lydia and Claire, who we read in the summary on the back. Their sister went missing back when she was 19. So there's trauma from that and their whole family dynamic. Because of that, their father unalived himself eventually because of not being able to know what happened to her. Because it was still unsolved. They've never found her body, nothing. Claire's husband was murdered, which we also read about in the back summary. And during this, Claire's finding out that maybe her husband is not who she thought he was. He found a bunch of files on his computer of what appears to be snuff porn, but it looks super duper real. Where I left off, Claire had just taken it to the police station and the detective there kind of brushed her off saying it was fake, which is a bit weird. I'm getting like an ACAB vibe, so I'm kind of hoping she goes and takes it to the FBI because there's an FBI agent at her house after the funeral, which suspicion bells. Why else would the FBI be there? Her husband's friend also is super duper interested in getting these work files from her husband's computer. So already I'm sensing like a web of men here that are producing these actual snuff porn videos, possibly orchestrating them, like kidnapping the girls and the women and making these videos. Who knows? Meanwhile, this is going on, there is a 17-year-old girl that is missing. And one of the videos that Claire watches, the girl, her face is partially covered, but it appears it might be that this missing girl, which is also why she took it to the police. At the very least, think that detective that she went to is in on it. So for the chapters have just been bouncing back and forth between Claire and Lydia. Lydia is happy that Paul, Claire's husband, is dead because Paul attempted to grape her, and her sister Claire did not believe it and cut Lydia out of her life. So they reunite for a little bit when Lydia goes to piss on Paul's grave, like literally piss on Paul's grave. So super interesting. There was like a half of a flashback to that night. We didn't get the full flashback, so not 100% on how that night played out, but obviously something Lydia is understandably upset about. There's also chapters interspersed which appear to be from Claire and Lydia's father, who I said unalived himself because of his other daughter's disappearance, which is kind of leading me to believe, I'm just gonna make an early guess, that the father did it or he knows what happened, because otherwise why are we getting these chapters from his point of view? They almost read like diary entries, but he's like addressing the missing daughter. So it's kind of just like him reminiscing, possibly maybe right before he takes his own life, about him trying to investigate her disappearance, all these things that he did, etc., etc. So my early guess is that Daddy Dearest did it or knows what happened at the very least. We'll see if I'm right. Could be a red herring, but I'm confused as to why it's being included if it's not going to be important. Okay. And so I'm gonna keep reading on. We'll see what happens. I did forget to mention Lydia has a teenage daughter. So I'm hoping nothing happens to her, nothing comes into play with that. But Lydia is obviously very scared about everything going on because of her teenage daughter. So let's keep going. I'll check in again, maybe another 100 pages and see where I'm at. Okay, I am 210 pages into Pretty Girls. According to Storygraph, I just logged it, I'm exactly 50% of the way through. Kind of cutting it close considering it's Tuesday and I have a stream tonight, so I really gotta amp it up. But some interesting developments have been made. So Paul, Claire's dead husband, just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. The missing girl that's kind of been like in the background of this story. Turns out the girl that Claire finds in the video that looks like her was her, because her body was found. Horrible, 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 horrible. Some of the description, it's not like super detailed. This isn't like a super gory or like kind of like splatterpunk book by any means. There is some description of what goes on in these videos. Horrific. Nothing I want to repeat here or ever again, to be honest. So Claire and Lydia have decided they're gonna investigate Paul's old family house because Claire realized he still owns it. So literally the last chapter I read was really long. It was Claire and Lydia going to that house. They find it all boarded up. At first we were thinking maybe he's just like a participant in it. Maybe he, you know, buys copies of these videos. But it seems like this is like a family thing and he's been doing this for quite a long time, because they go in and the house has been kept clean despite being boarded up, and the inside it's been kept clean. They find the garage, and the garage has areas of it that very much resemble the videos. There's a lot of blood and there's a lot of VHS tapes. Older videos being made before the digital age. And the chapter I just finished ends with Lydia and Claire seeing one of the VHS tapes, and the date corresponds with when their sister went missing. We also established in this chapter that Paul would have been 15 at the time and lived only 3 hours away from where their sister Julia was going to college at the time. So it's very possible he could have done this. This level of organization, his dad probably was also involved and like showed him the ropes and stuff. I'm sure of it. There's no other explanation, right? I'm scared they're gonna watch the video and it's gonna be more like graphic detail and it's gonna suck. My theory is still holding that the dad at the very least knows. We're only halfway through the book though, so I feel like this revelation, we've pretty much like completed the picture of Paul, almost. And by completed the picture I mean like we kind of know everything he's been doing that Claire was unaware of. So we just gotta figure out who else was involved, and that's Paul. It's been moving very fast, I gotta say. Like, to figure that out halfway through, it makes me think there's a lot more to this because everything's moving along at a good pace. Like, I feel like very easily could have given into like miscommunication tropes and things like that, and people deliberately keeping information from each other to drag the story out, and that's really not happening here. So I'm really enjoying the pacing. It's making it exciting to read and making it easy to get through in that respect. The content is not as easy to get through. Yeah, so I'm excited to get through the rest of this and figure out what the fuck is going on. Not excited if they're gonna watch that video though. I don't know if I would put myself through that if it was my sister. I don't think I would want to watch that. So I'm kind of scared at what's gonna be on that tape, but there's only one way to find out. So let's go. Daisy has joined me for this next update. Daisy.
Hello.
Daisy joined me because I was making too much noise reading this book because oh my god. Oh my god. Clearly I was so very wrong. I am now like 316 pages into this according to Storygraph. I'm 76% of the way through. So I got a little bit left. Holy fucking shit. This is so twisty, so insane, literally insane. This book is insane. So Paul's alive. Paul faked his own death. Like, fucking everybody is involved in some capacity. Wow, 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 wow. Where do I even begin? Yeah, I mean, I knew other people were involved, like obviously the cop. Seems like I maybe had it wrong about his business partner. It's a little convoluted, I'm not gonna lie. It's like, but maybe that's by design to make you just like your brain kind of break. There's the FBI agent who we still don't like, I still don't fully know what the FBI agent, like what he's got going on. He knows that Paul faked his own death and he knows about the videos, but it seems like Paul manipulated them as well into saying like, well, I know the identity of the man who's doing the raping and the murdering on the videotapes, but I want to go into witness protection and then I'll give you the evidence. And clearly that was never going to happen because Claire has already found out that Paul is the man in the tape. So he's not just filming them. He's not just distributing them. He is kidnapping the girls. He is enacting these horrific, violent things on these girls. He's editing it. He's distributing it. So clearly this dude is the most master manipulator to ever manipulate anybody, because he's got politicians in his pocket. You probably would have seen a clip of my mouth dropping open, which was me realizing like how many people this fucking Paul dude has got in his pocket. So fucking scary. I will commend, like, it all makes you so frightened, and in a very real sense, if you're somebody who's not a straight white cis man and moves through the world with a kind of feeling of like safety. Because yeah, the whole kind of like feeling of, I don't know who to trust. You know, there are these, you know, I guess in a broader sense, like there are these people that contribute to this system that could do me harm. Feels like it's present in this. Obviously it's much more narrowed down and specific, but I feel that like trust nobody. We're kind of in that space of the book where I just ended, where everything is seeming hopeless. There's like 80 pages left of this, so part of me is kind of glad Paul faked his death, because that means hopefully Claire and or Lydia is going to absolutely beat the shit out of him and kill him in the way that he deserves to be killed. That is my only hope, that we can't have a book with this much violence enacted upon women and teenage girls and not have the person responsible get their just rewards. I'm gonna need something light-hearted to watch where no violence is enacted upon anybody after this, because oh my god. Although I am running a little bit late, so it will have already happened by the time you see this video. I'm probably gonna have to cancel tonight's Twitch stream because I would like to get it finished to finish this video. So I'm gonna finish this and then I'll be back to tell you everything and give you my thoughts on this. If any of you have already read this, I need you to share in the comments, like, did you figure it out, and at what point did you figure it out? Because I completely did not have this figured out. Wow. God damn this book. Okay, so things I was wrong about. Dad being involved, but he did know. I did say that at the end. He did know. Did I realize he only knew because Paul showed him the video and then murdered him and made it look like a suicide? Holy shit. No, didn't guess that. Also didn't guess that the mom knew because she found the dad and the videotape was still there, which was fucking wild, and a little bit of like a loose end that I feel like nobody addressed. Which, I mean, granted, the cop that was supposed to be investigating this case was dirty and in on it, and even participated, so I guess that's fine, and I guess that's like the, you know, I guess we're maybe meant to think it would have been fruitless anyway, but the character wouldn't have known it would have been fruitless, so I don't know why the mom didn't submit the tape just to protect everybody. Other than that, this was such a wild ride. I was at least satisfied in the fact that because Paul faked his death, he did get his comeuppance brutally. That was the best part of the whole book, was Paul absolutely getting his shit rocked. I thought like the videos was like the worst part of the book, but when Claire finally gets a hold of the USB that Paul is after, she knows it's like probably has the client list on it, which it did, and then she's found photos of particular clients posing with the dead bodies as if it were, you know, like one of those disgusting, I'm sorry if you hunt, but I'm a vegan, disgusting hunting photos where you like hold up the animal that you just killed, like that. And she found like the senator that he was working with in one of those photos, the officer that was handling her sister's case back in the day in those photos, and of course a young Paul in the photo with her sister. The description of the photos made me want to throw up. Love the character development for Claire and Lydia. Hate how they had to get there, but loved it. It was definitely rewarding. They were not the easiest characters to like right off the bat, but they had their reasons and their arc was satisfying. The pacing of this was really good. I've read some horror books, I've read some thriller books where I feel like they drag out things unnecessarily. Like it just like ruins the pacing, and it feels like they didn't have enough material and it probably should have been a shorter book. This one, the pacing was really good, and like the timing of like each thing that was revealed was really good. Like it really propelled me through the book. Ended up really liking this. This was, as much as you can like something like so horrific and dark, this one had been on my TBR for a while, and I kind of liked this practice of just drawing a random number, picking a book and being like, okay, I'm gonna finish this today. I'm gonna read this, I'm gonna take this day off and I'm gonna read this book. Or I'm gonna take this weekend and I'm gonna read this book. Maybe highly recommend if you're like me and you have a fuck ton of books on your physical TBR. So I'm happy to finally check that one off and move that one to the red pile. So if you enjoyed this, which I hope you did, I never know how enjoyable these are. This wasn't as particularly like shocking maybe necessarily as the romance book I read, which I'll link that video in a second if you haven't watched that reading vlog. But let me know if you would like to see this again, picking a random book from my TBR and reading it and giving you my thoughts. I'm hoping if you made it this far, you either had no intentions of reading it ever or you already have read it. So if you enjoyed this video, like I said, I did do one of these not that long ago. Back in February, I read what was supposed to be like a really dark like romance book, which is super out of character for me, so you can check that out. When is this going up? What video is going up after this? I have no idea. I feel like it might be another come with me movie review. I'll see you later this week with some other video. Until then, stay strange. Bye.